Welcome to another unit in this Excel course. This time I want to introduce to you the so-called Scenario Manager from Excel. The Scenario Manager can be found if we go to the menu Data and then to the What If analysis. So here we have the Scenario Manager. If I click on this, first I see I do not have any scenarios. So I can add different scenarios. So if I click on Add, first I have to give it a specific name. So here, for example, I call this normal situation. Then I can define which cells should actually be changed. So here, for example, I select in my optimization problem the right side. So available resources and production requirements. That's the situation, as I said, which is normal. So if I click Add, I can define the values for this normal scenario, so as they are here. Then I get my first scenario, normal scenario. Then I can add a different scenario. Let's call this bad situation. It's the same, changing cells. You can click on OK. For example, here I only have 150, 350, and 25. So I can add this. Then if I click Add, I directly go to the next scenario. This would be like good scenario. Same cells, click OK. And for example, and you see here, that's again back to the original values. Now I have bit more available, still have higher orders, click OK, and I'm back at my scenario manager. And well, what can I do with this? Well, first off, I could click on show, then he actually shows me the corresponding scenarios, how they affect all of this. That's, for example, if I just want to switch through them. So I could start, for example, with my solution to the normal scenario, switch to the good scenario, close this, run the solver, get my solution for this, have my values, go back to the scenario manager, change this to the bad scenario, and then compare this to the bad scenario. So how will the different scenarios impact my profit? So I can do this with the optimization part, but I can also interpret the different values here, for example, as parameters in a more sophisticated model. So then, simply by clicking on, simply by clicking on show and by changing the values, different calculations might adjust and I get corresponding values. So I can play through different scenarios. That's also the idea here with summary. I can, for example, then say, okay, in the summary, report, and well, here it doesn't make so much sense, but report all the cells depending on my values which I change in the different scenarios. So here, for example, if I click OK, then I see correspondingly the different scenarios, actual situation, and the different scenarios I have here, and how the different values would change. Okay, here they don't change, but we can just play a situation where they would change. So imagine I have here simply a cell which does nothing else than just sum up those three numbers. Well, if the numbers change, I will get a different sum here. So what I then can do, if I click on summary, can say, okay, report this cell here. And then you see my current situation. This mirrors the normal situation. And here you see in the bad situation, the value would be 525. In a good scenario, it would be 975. So that's how basically the scenario editor or manager works. You can switch between different scenarios. Either you use this, for example, in a solver to run through different optimization parts, or use the scenario summary to actually get an idea how cells, depending on those parameters, change if you switch from scenario to scenario. And well, that's then at least all I wanted to tell you in the context here of this scenario manager. And if you want to see more on how you can evaluate data with the help of Excel, feel free to visit the rest of this course or have a look at the corresponding playlist. I say goodbye and see you next time.